Before we get to this week's Tigers episode, just a quick reminder that in the description of this video is a link to a charity event that I'm participating in. This is a Top Golf event. It's a golf event. I'm not a golfer, so I appreciate your support to help me get third this. For Parkinson's research, as I've shared before, my mom has Parkinson's. This is an event that her and my dad put on each year. This is the third year they've done this event, and last year they raised over $100,000, so we're looking to increase that. So if you have $1, $6, $9.13, $69, $5,000, whatever you can afford to donate, if anything, see the link in the description. I'd really appreciate it. And for those of you who are interested, if you go to the site where you can donate, you can also see where the event's being held. I think it's in like 15. Ooh, whoa, Norton antivirus. We don't need you up. I think it's being held in like 15 different sites across the country. And you don't have to be a golfer to participate. It's like a fun, like arcade style golf game almost. But if there's one near you and you want to participate, you can go ahead and sign up on the website too. But thanks for listening. Thanks for taking a look on to our Detroit Tigers. It's July 14th, 2027, approaching the 2027 MLB trade deadline. Welcome back to another Out of the Park 24 Tigers episode. At this point in the season, the Tigers are 49-44, 5.5 games out of the first place in the AL Campanella division behind the Twins, the Guardians, and the Reds between them. Expanded standings-wise, you can see our run differential is plus 39. We're 2 below our Pythagorean record, so this is a pretty decent team. It's not like we're overachieving. So wild card, we are now in the last wild card spot. We've won 4 games in a row. We're 8-2 in our last 10. And, you know, this is tight, though. I mean, look, like so many teams are still in it. Like if you have a bad week, you could find yourself in some trouble here. So let's look at the team info page. Offense is still the struggle, but it's getting better. Riley Green's been back for about 20 games, and he's just been a monster. We've scored a very nice 420 runs so far this season, which is 9th in the AL out of the 16 teams. Runs allowed, we're 7th. Our starters ERA is 2nd. Our bullpen ERA is 7th. Defense zone rating, we're 4th. So I think some work to do here on this team. We went 14-14 in June, 8-4 so far in July. We do have some injuries to talk about. The big one being Justin Henry Malloy. Just yesterday went on the IL for 3 weeks with an oblique strain. Montes de Oca, really one of our best bullpen arms, our righty setup guy. He's still out with the shoulder inflammation that he incurred during spring training. He'll go out on rehab in another 3 weeks. So we're probably looking at mid-August before he's back. And then Andrew Vasquez, who is having just a really, really good season for us, has a forearm strain, and he's out for another 8 weeks. So we're looking at like mid-September and then a rehab assignment starting in mid-September. So that's not ideal, if you ask me. We did DFA Wilmer Flores, the 6.15 ERA across 45 1/3 innings. Just wasn't working for us. So hopefully he'll accept an outright assignment to AAA after his DFA period is over, but we'll see. So those are the injuries. Riley Green, you can say, has played 20 games and had a 180 WRC+. And then you may remember Tommy Delandry was ripping it up in AAA. It's finally his time here. He's been up for 109 plate appearances and put up a 159 WRC+, mainly in the DH spot. So our 16th round pick from 2026 so far is, working out so far in his first 35 days of Major League service. Ozzy Albies continues to get more playing time. He's going to be the starting second baseman a lot of the time. I guess against lefties with Malloy on the shelf. We'll get more into that lineup in a second. Jung-Hoo Lee having a nice season. Joey Bart doing great. Luke Leto, a bit of a disappointment. You could say we're being a bit Leto down by him, but he's picked it up lately. So he's on pace for 40 home runs, but the bat is just league average. Let's see. But yeah, so far in July, he's put up a 240 WRC+. He's been on fire. April was bad, and then May and June were like okay-ish, but much better so far in July. And hopefully he can keep that going because we need somebody to step up with Malloy out. Carter Trice is getting a run. He's our 9th round pick from 2023. He's getting a run as like a utility player. He's done okay in 50 at-bats so far. I don't think he's a major piece moving forward, but he's getting a shot. Parker Meadows doing his thing as a glove-first center fielder who has an adequate bat. Ben Malgeri hasn't worked out great for him in his first exposure to Major League pitching. Kevin Made, his bat has really cooled off, but he's still doing his thing with his glove. Dingler's bat has cooled off. Zach Goloff, just a really down year for him. His June was much better with a 115 WRC+. He's struggled out of the gates in July, but hopefully he can get some of that June magic back. And then Isaac Pacheco was just called back up yesterday when Malloy was placed in the IL. He will get a lot of the third base at bats against righties. He was doing well in AAA, putting up a 132 WRC+. He really needs to make the best of this opportunity here in these 3 weeks that Malloy's out. His time is running out, I think. His leash is getting shorter here. He was decent last year, but he hasn't broken out for us yet. He hasn't established himself as a major league player. He's at 680 at-bats. He's at a 90 WRC+. This is his time to shine. He needs to take advantage of the opportunity here. So, like I said, against righties, he will get a lot of the at-bats at third base. Goloff will stay at second. But then against lefties, since Pacheco is a lefty, Goloff will slide over to third. Ozzie Albies will play second. Delandry is getting the at-bats against lefties and righties at DH for the most part, with Trice coming in, Malgeri coming in, different guys getting playing time there. But that's the gist of how the hitting's looking. On the pitching side of things, Chase Dollander continues to lead the way. Job and Espino both at the ERAs below 4. Ryan Wentz has had an uneven season but been all right overall. Sandy Alcantara, his worst season as a starter, but it's still pretty good. Worst season for us, but still on pace for 2.2 RWAR and 1.6 WAR, so not bad. The bullpen's been okay, but we have some work to do, especially with Vasquez and Montes de Oca out. Honestly, Moda, Nolan, and Mercado, I'm not sure should really be part of the team as we push for the postseason. I think maybe we can count on Montes de Oca coming back and taking one of these spots. I don't want to count on Vasquez because he's not back until late. I could see us bringing in 2 relievers at the deadline. I don't think we need a starting pitcher. I mean, we could always use one if there's one out there, but I don't think we need to target one. Lineup side of things, I think there are at-bats to be had at first, second, and DH. Maybe not like an everyday player who's going to take the job from like Leto or Delandry, etc., but a good bat who can take some at-bats there. And I think ideally probably a righty bat who can play some first base in place of Leto. Not that, Leto doesn't really have platoon splits this year. I can't remember if he did last year. Oh no, he actually hit lefties really well last year. So yeah, but I think a bat who could play first base, DH, and maybe even second would be nice. But really, with Green, we need Malloy back, and we just need some of these guys to continue to perform. I don't love our offense, but it's also like there's nobody who I really badly want to replace. I think Goloff obviously maybe deserves to lose his job at second base, but Ozzie Albies, as a second baseman, has been really good in part-time duty. So looking at, let's just look at the trade block to start. Batters-wise, Rizzo is out there, but he's hurt. TJ, Willie Castro, I mean, you could play him at first base. He was claimed on waivers in 2024. Oh, and then he's gone on and been pretty good. Hold on, he had a down year there. He's a switch hitter. Better from the right side than the left side. So maybe not exactly what we're looking for. Dalton Varsho, isn't positionally the guy we want. He's also a lefty, but he's having a nice year. Oh, he's got another year at $18 million. No thanks. Luis Ariz is always an interesting guy, but he's out for 5 to 6 weeks. I don't love his lack of power, but that contact and avoids K is always attractive. Austin Meadows doing his thing for the Angels this year, having a really good season. He's a lefty bat, though. I don't really know that we need a lefty bat. Austin Hayes is out here doing his thing. Not that he can play second base. He's had a really bad year, though. BABIP is pretty low, though, compared to last year. There's not a marquee star bat out here, especially from the right side. How's Luis Robert in this sim? Oh, he's had a rough go of it. Hasn't been great. Signed a minor league contract. Santander, Switch hitters are always interesting. He was a minor league free agent signing. So what's Toronto's deal? Oh yeah, they're only 2 games out. But I mean, if they want to trade me Santander, I'm not opposed to it. Does he have major splits on the left side versus lefties from the right side? He's been pretty good the last 2 seasons versus righties. Yeah, I mean, honestly, Santander is a pretty interesting bat to fill what we need. First base DH. He can hit from both sides of the plate. That's one to keep an eye on for sure. I think I could see us making an offer there, even if it doesn't make total sense for the Jays to be shopping him, but whatever. Luis Urias. Oh, sorry, not Luis Urias. Gio Urshela. I saw Urias' name right above him. That's why I was like, what? Yeah, so I think Santander might be the guy we target to start there. Pitchers, I think we could probably use a lefty and a righty reliever if there's anything out here. Yeah, a lot of good relievers out here. Jose Alvarado. He signed next year as an option. No, I don't really want to take him on. Oh, wow. Duran is having a really rough year with home runs and walks in Arizona. Before that has been a solid and sometimes great reliever. But since being traded to Arizona in the offseason, it has not worked out for him. That's a guy I think I'd like to make an offer for. Moran is in the minors, but is a decent-looking lefty arm. Why is he in the minors? He was so good last year in Minnesota. 3.1 WAR in 84 relief appearances. And now he's unhappy because of disruptive influences? Yeah, it doesn't mean he's a disruptive influence. I wonder why he was optioned. I mean, he wasn't having a terrible year, but it wasn't great either. I guess he cleared waivers recently, and now I might give him an asset for him. Clay Holmes, also an interesting arm, and he's free, totally free. He's in Cleveland, though. Cleveland's in the race. I don't really want to trade with them. I think Alvarado and Duran. Is Kansas City like big time out of it? What division are they in again? Wait, why are there more teams here? Why does their thing go? Oh, because they have like a tie. Got it. Okay. The Cardinals are listed here. I was like, what? The leagues aren't uneven. I'm so confused. Got it. The Royals are 4 games out. Yeah, it could make sense for them to make a trade. So I think the first thing we'll do is probably make offers for. What do I want to make? Oh wait, he's not in the minor. Wait. Moran isn't in the minors. Never mind. For some reason, I didn't recognize this. I was like, oh, he's in the minors. He's not. He's on Ottawa, and that's why I didn't recognize the team. Edwin Diaz is in San Diego, making $21.4 million. Still a beast. That would be interesting to bring him in for sure. So maybe we'll do this. Duran is a lot cheaper. Not that I mean, money's fine. They're all both on 1-year deals. It doesn't really matter. So let's make an offer for Alvarado, and these are bullpen rentals. We're gonna aim really low here. Let's just see. What they would think about that. And then we will go back to the trade block and make an offer. I think we're going to go for Duran first. We're going to try him. There's another bullpen rental, so I'm starting low just to see what they say. And then Santander is in Toronto. Let's see, Dennis Butler. No, I don't want to go with the 65 range. Braxton Beal. No, don't really want to give him up. Santander's a free agent. Yeah, he was a minor league free agent signing. Let's shoot really low here. Yeah, I'm fine giving up this guy. Okay, so all those deals are submitted. Let's see what they come back with. Ooh, almost on all of them. Ooh, but these are a lot of good names. None of these are guys I'm giving up. And this is for who? Alvarado? Okay. Same thing. Really similar names, although I don't recognize this guy. 13th round pick who has added velocity twice since picking him. Which deal is this? This is for Santander. Yeah, okay, we could make a deal for Santander work. What about here for Duran? Oh yeah, we could make a deal work here. Quezado, what's his deal? Zion Rose, no way. Yeah, I think we could add Quezado to this deal to get Duran. Oh, Theo Epstein is their general manager. So we're giving up this catcher who I'm not too enthralled with. Don't like his personality. Quezado is a fine enough. I think this is a fine price to pay for a guy who can pitch towards the back end of our bullpen as a rental. He's been a really good, sometimes great reliever in this sim. He's having a really bad year thanks to bad walk rate and home run rates, but we're going to pull the trigger on that deal. And then let's go. The Santander deal seemed doable too. I'd be fine giving him up. I don't want to give him up. I'd be fine giving this guy up. Right, I already looked at him. I don't want to give these guys up. So this guy's 24. Yeah, I'll put Rondon in this deal. So this is Ruiz. This is a 23-year-old reliever in Double-A. And Rondon, who is a 24-year-old catcher in Double-A for Santander. He could replace Maljury on the roster. Santander's having a really nice year, but was a minor league free agent signing because he just hasn't been good since like 2024. You know, he's walking a bit more. He's striking out a bit less. His BABIP is up from last year. I don't love making a deal with the Blue Jays since they're kind of in the race still, but it's not like I'm taking a star player from them. I'm trading for a guy who they signed to a minor league deal, and he is a part of their team now. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and make that trade. So we've filled 2 of our 3 needs now, and we can option Moda back down. I think I might need to clear room off the 40-man. What do I have on the 40-man here? If I can find my way back to the tab I want. Okay, so we have 1 spot open, so we'll put Duran on. And Devin Williams has had a bit of a shaky year compared to his normal self. So then we can put Lang back in a middle relief role. We'll put Duran in a setup role, backup closer. Yeah, I'd really love to get another lefty. If it's not Alvarado, maybe somebody else to bump Thompson out of this setup role. And I want a better lefty reliever at the back end of the bullpen. And then this is going to be the end of the line for Ben Malgeri now on our active roster. I need to figure out who I'm going to DFA. Just look at it this way. Yeah, Harrison is probably pretty DFA-able at this point. This is a guy we got from San Francisco in that deal where I felt like I was fleecing him, but he's just struggled with control at the major league level. I mean, Westberg is another possible DFA guy. How many option years does he have left? It's his last one. I think either of those guys are fine to DFA. I just don't know. It looks like the torn rotator cuff might have ended Kyle Harrison's time as like a serious major league pitcher. Just that control's not going to work. We're going to DFA him. There might be somebody who believes in him still. So we'll put Santander in, and he will, against righties, he won't play too much, although he can be a lefty bat in the DH spot. Not that I mean, Delandry has certainly earned this job, but we'll give Tony Santander some time here. And he can also play first base against lefties. We'll give him once a week against righties until Leto really heats up. And then here, we'll back up Trice a little bit. You can still start every 10 days there, buddy. We'll put Santander here. He'll play every 5th game. He can also play against lefties in place of Jung-Hoo Lee, who has pretty bad platoon splits. So he's going to play a lot against lefties. And here we'll start him at DH once a week. So I think that makes our offense better for sure. Hopefully Santander can... oh, he lost to the O's. Hopefully Santander can keep the magic going that he's had this year. Delandry hit another home run. Lang didn't pitch well. Nolan gave up a run. Let's see if they give Santander the start here. His former team that picked him in the Rule 5 draft. So we got a 3-1 win. He went 0 for 3 with a walk. Pacheco, in his return, hit a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th to give us a 3-0 lead. We hung on and won 3-1. Wentz pitched well. Only went 4 2/3, 77 pitches. Mercado pitching pretty well since he's been called up. Thompson, Duran got into a game. Cool. Let's do one more game here. He lost 4-3. Okay, so Wilmer has cleared waivers. His DFA time is over. He'll go to Toledo. And so we lost 4-3. Oh, we gave up 2 runs in the 9th. Williams blew it. Lang inherited one of his runners too, but didn't let him score. Santander went 0 for 3. Goloff walked twice. Pacheco again, 3 for 4, a double. So he's on notice that this is his spot. Delandry pinch hit. All right, so I'll keep plugging away here. I'll try to get a lefty reliever, and we'll try to finalize this team. But really, we're going to need like Riley Green, Jung-Hoo Lee, Leto to pick it up, Molloy to come back. That's the ticket here on offense, and hopefully Santander can supplement. All right, let's keep at this trade deadline thing. The trade deadline has passed. It was pretty uneventful, to be honest, after the 2 moves you saw me make. That I did bring in, though, Giovanni Moran from Ottawa, from the 67s, because I needed a lefty in the back end of my bullpen. Really didn't adequately replace Jalen Beeks after he went off to be a starting pitcher with the Boston Red Sox. So I've got Moran and Duran having trouble. Their names are so similar in that they're both J names and their last names rhyme, kind of, depending on how you want to pronounce them. But so you guys saw the Duran trade and the Santander trade. Do not correct me on Anthony Santander's name. All right? I know I get some wrong sometimes. I know some of you like to comment on it. It's Anthony Santander. Do not hit me with Santander. All right? Anyways, so I got this guy, the lefty, Giovanni Moran. I need to call him Moran. I need to call him Moran because I feel like I'm saying moron if I say Moran. Giovanni Moran. And he's arbitration eligible, so he could be back next year even. I didn't really go up a lot for him. I gave up Anderson Melendez, who is a 24-year-old minor league reliever. Still not used to this after like 2 years with that back button change. I gave up this guy, Eddie Felix, who has pitched as high as AAA at times, but I don't really see a huge future for. And then Jesus Tovar, who's a 20, so two arms that are 23 years old and a 24-year-old arm. None of them I see a lot of promise for. Basically, just 3 kind of like poor lottery tickets for a reliever that was having a down season, to be honest. Like, his ERA was pretty bad. It wasn't working out for him in Ottawa. He'd had a really good season the year before in Minnesota. So we've got two guys here who have a lot of potential but have been struggling this year in Moran and Duran. Duran's walk rate is still pretty concerning here, but his home run rate is way down. His BABIP is kind of wild. But hopefully these two guys can lock it down at the back end of the bullpen. We do have Montes de Oca about to go out on rehab in 3 days. So, I mean, he's been out since spring training. So, and he's a reliever. Oh, I forgot that they do see him as a starter, or that he could start. I'm totally happy with how he's been as a reliever. He could probably be a pretty good starter. And maybe I should consider that next season. But, man, when I've got a guy who can pitch to the back end of my bullpen, I'm really tempted just to leave him there. And especially allows us to keep him a lot cheaper. He's a reliever, so they'll probably use him, honestly, as a starter down in AAA. I guess I'll probably force him as a reliever. So I wanted to give him multiple appearances. So I'm thinking probably like a week and a half down there. So he'll be back like mid-August, like between the 10th and the 15th. Some bad news on Malloy. His injury time left is unknown, so it could be tomorrow. It could be 3 weeks from now. The oblique strain is just not treating him well, but hopefully he'll be back soon. We did end July 17-8, so a really good July for us. We are, let's see here, the standings. So we're 4.5 behind the Twins in the division. Wild card, we are tied, I guess, for the last one, but 2 games up on the Mets, who are a little further behind. The Orioles finally doing something in this sim. Goodness gracious. And look who's leading their all-star Freddie Pacheco, who they got from us basically for free because he was out of options and we weren't using him and going to use him the following season. So we traded Jordan Westberg, who we just DFA'd. Pacheco made the all-star team, and he's at the back end of the bullpen. Grayson Rodriguez really did not pan out in the sim, did he? I think he had an injury. Yeah, he tore his UCL or ruptured his UCL. He had a shoulder injury. He just really hasn't been that good. I mean, that's rough. He missed all of 2026, though, and really just hasn't been that good. I think they're just, all offense. Yeah, they're an all-offensive team. It's Adley, Gunnar, Adley. Oh, Bo Bichette is having a good year for them this year. Oh, they have Trent Grisham. That's fun. I'm not trying to control the team. I'm trying to look at my guy, Trent Grisham. I like Trent Grisham as a player. I like that he doesn't use batting gloves. I like that he has an awesome mustache in real life right now, or he did earlier in the season. I did want to update you on one thing here. Remember that pitching prospect that I drafted who was an impossible sign, and it said I was going to have to offer him over $9 million to sign him? And I had all that money this year, and I did sign him. It's Jesus Strickland. He's my top pitching prospect, and he's my top prospect in my system, 91st prospect in baseball. He's 18. I drafted him in the 5th round. I offered him $11 million, and he took it. I honestly don't have any advice to give on how to sign guys that are impossible, based off of what it says you need to offer above. It told me I needed to offer him well above $9 million, and I had so much money left over this season because my owner raised the budget late in the off season. That I decided to spend it on this guy, and he's pitched well so far in 8 starts. High school pitching prospects I'm pretty skeptical of them, but this kind of felt like a freebie, getting him in the 5th round with money I wasn't going to use anyways. So took the risk, and hopefully it'll pay off. We've also had a positive update on Brandon Barreria this season, number 92 prospect in baseball he's up to. I just promoted him to AAA after he put up a 3.07 ERA in AA in 105 innings, a 3.26 FIP, Sierra 3.1. So he's looking like he's coming right along. So we are 58-48. We're in the mix, but man, like a cold, we could be in first in 2 weeks after a hot streak, or a few games back at the last wild card with a cold streak. We could really use Malloy getting back, but let's go ahead and get on with it and see how this season turns out for us. So we won 91 games, 91-71. The Twins, man, the juggernaut continues there. We couldn't quite catch them. We get the 2nd wild card spot behind the Reds, so that does mean we get the all-important home field advantage in the 3-game series against the Pirates. So the Twins and the Mets won their divisions. The Dodgers and the Houston Astros won their divisions, and then Reds, Tigers, Pirates, Yankees, Braves, Rockies, Cardinals, Rangers. The A's just missed. The Brewers and O's just missed. So How'd the season turn out for us as a team? Well, I'm glad you asked. Runs scored, we made it up to 7th, which was solid considering where we were. Runs allowed 1st, defense 2nd. So if only our offense had been a little better, man, we might have been able to be the best team in baseball. But we went 19-10 in August. September wasn't as kind to us, 14-13. And let's go into the team. Oh, this is like all levels. What's going on here? So let's just go by WAR. Justin Henry Malloy led the team in WAR with 4.5. You might remember that several guys missed some time. So Malloy put up a 137 WRC plus, 126 games. Jung-Hoo Lee continued to be a good signing, 3.7 WAR. Kevin Made, just below a bit below league average with the 92 WRC plus, but Gold Glove caliber shortstop. Riley Green put up 3.1 WAR in just 86 games. Luke Leto, 3 WAR, 118 WRC plus, 41 home runs, 101 ribbies. Luke Leto has arrived. Parker Meadows, a good season for him, 92 WRC plus with really good defense. Anthony Santander was not good for us at all. Negative .2 WAR, 65 WRC plus. He struck out a lot more. He did walk a bit more, but yeah, he didn't play very well. Joey Bart ends the season with 1.6 WAR and a 108 WRC plus. Ozzy Albies, solid season from him, man. Tommy DeLandry came up and was our designated hitter a lot of the way. In 92 games, he put up a 121 WRC plus, 1.3 WAR. He hit 26 home runs in 382 plate appearances. Now, this avoid Ks concerns me over the long haul, especially without great eye or discipline, without great contact. But hey, hopefully he can come in and mash a bunch of home runs for several seasons before that catches up to him. Zach Goloff, an absolutely atrocious season, 0.2 WAR, 67 WRC plus. I would say, so he had some bad personality traits when we got him, but he's now, here we go. He's now disruptive, which was not the case before. He's the only guy who my manager has a bad relationship with. Yeah, I don't know if there's a future for him on my team if he's going to be disruptive in this clubhouse. He doesn't get along with the manager, etc. Isaac Pacheco ended the season with 0.1 WAR and 85 WRC plus in 67 games. But let's go to the splits here. So he was up in April and was terrible with the 30 WRC plus. Then July and August was solid. September wasn't as good, but he certainly did much better from July on when he came up. Like, I think he continues to be a guy who I think we have some hope for to be a good player for us. He's a lefty bat, has some defensive versatility, and has shown some promise at the major league level. He's still just 24. Scouts still loves him. So, yeah, Isaac Pacheco, I've still got time for him. Pitching side of things, Chase Dolander, possible Cy Young season. He went 20-4. You can see at one point here, game log, I mean, he was 9-3, and then he was 20-3. Like, these wins. He was 5-2, and then 9-3. I mean, he won a bunch of starts in a row. Like, look at these earned runs. Like, he gave up 4 runs there, 5 runs there, 6 runs there, but hardly 6 runs there. Like, I mean, just a very small handful of bad starts for him. And he ends the year with a 2.96 ERA, 5.1 WAR, 21 wins. Yeah, he was an ace. Jackson Jobe, solid season, 3.8 WAR, 2.3 WAR. Daniel Espino, 33 starts. He was not as good with ERA this year. It was more in line with his FIP, 3.53, 3.45. You can see his strikeouts were up, his walks were down, but a really good season, but not like an ace season. But with Jobe and Espino in the middle of the rotation, that's a really good rotation. Zach Thompson, man, really great stuff from him. So he made 2 starts at the end of the year when Ryan Wentz got hurt and picked 6 shutout innings in both of them. One was 10 Ks, one was 1 K. Interesting. But yeah, 112 innings, and he put up a 1.84 ERA. Now he's 29. He kind of like treaded water the one year that he was given the opportunity to be a full-time starter, but he was a great part of our team this year. Alcantara, really great. No, never mind. Really not great. Like, fine. He had a fine season. He started a bunch of games. He put up like a league average FIP, a little worse than league average ERA. and he was fine. Ryan Wentz, his first season as a starter, 133 innings, 3.71 ERA, a 4.07 FIP. He's still just 25. We've got hopes for him in the future. Vasquez, Lang were both good. Moran and Duran were both. This guy was great for us. Moran, 1.63 ERA in 27 innings. Duran put up, I mean, he just totally turned his season around. 1.47 ERA in 30.2 innings. So both the relievers that we brought in were both really good for us. Montos de Oca only pitched 14 innings, but was really good in those innings with a 2.57 ERA, 1.47 FIP, 28.1 strikeout to walk percentage. AJ Blueball, grow up, guys. He pitched 64 innings, 2.80 ERA, solid season. Devin Williams, negative 0.5 WAR, negative 0.8 R WAR. Yeah, he struggled, I guess, some. He didn't blow a ton of saves, I don't think, but he did save 33 games. But his home runs were way, way, way up. The BABIP was way up, and the walks were up. So not a great season from Devin Williams. He's got a player option. We'll see what he does. Other guys on the 40-man who contributed to this team, let me tell you about them. Blaze did not come up. Hurley didn't come back up. Malgeri didn't either. Horvath, did he come back up? I don't think so. No, I don't think he did. I think he did at one point, actually, but he didn't do anything. Trice, Moss did not come back up. Garcia did not come back up. Yeah, you're looking at those are most of the contributors. So now we get into the postseason, and as I said, we've got the Pirates. We've got 3 games at home against the Pirates in a best of, well, it's a best of 3 at home against the Pirates. Hopefully we can just beat them in 2 games. But that's a wrap for the 2027 regular season as well as this episode. We will be back in the next episode with the 2027 postseason, and I will see you all then.